This is Puccini's biggest opera. There are certain scenes where we have several hundred people on stage, plus everyone in the orchestra pit and everyone working backstage. It's like each one of his operas, as he got older, seemed to get a little bit bigger. This is a magical and incredibly seductive and hypnotic opera.
Turandot is very relevant today because it's about an authoritarian society in which brutal things happen. But underneath it all, there's this glimmer of hope and humanity and love, which at the end of the opera, you realize can be reborn.
It is set in, as they say, Peking, Beijing, but Beijing in this piece is a mythical place. It's a place where many cultures are at the crossroads here. The setting is also something that draws on a kind of industrial world that has been, in a way, torn apart and destroyed.
With the set design, I try to capture the brutality, the grittiness, the visceralness of the piece, and nature trying to come through.
The people who populate our world are from so many different cultures who have each come with their prince.
And to show that they've been there for a long time, they have a very painterly approach to their distressing that feels like an ombre of dark brown to light.
I'm thrilled that we have two amazing interpreters for this role. Young-Hoon Lee as Calaf and Eva Planka as Turandot. They're both amazing singers and actors in these roles. They each bring a level of humanity and also really embrace the idea of not just conventional operatic love, but something much, much deeper. Puccini wrote a children's chorus in this opera, and I have chosen to use all girls here because I believe that the palace of Turandot is kind of a matriarchal world.
The children's chorus is evocative of Chinese communist costumes from the 1950s, in the little caps, little scarves that they'll wear, but again, interpreted through our lens that we've created for this show.
And so the kids get a chance to not only appear as members of the court, but they also do some quick changes into being refugees in the first scene. What's my favorite part of the opera? For me, it's really what's called the Riddle scene, the second act, all of it. It's where Turandot sings the most famous aria that she sings, in Questa Regia, which means in this kingdom. And also it has music that goes from intimate and personal to incredibly majestic, powerful, and ceremonial. And one of the ways that I wanted to represent that amazing transition of sounds and story and things that I love was to use dance. With Kanji Sagawa and Jessica Lang, the choreographers, we've really incorporated dance and movement into the piece in what I think is a very, very different way.
The dances are incredible. There's so many different references in it, from kind of Chinese and North Korean nationalist dancing, and it's beautiful.
When I knew that we would embark on Turandot here at WNO, I knew that I wanted to address the ending, which had always frustrated me because Puccini didn't write it, and I thought now is the time, 100 years after his death, to try and work on a new finale. The way that this ending that we've traditionally done is that Calaf, who answers the riddles, kisses her, and she says, "Okay, fine, I'll go off with you." And I didn't like that. I wanted a finale that placed the role of the woman leader in a positive light and also managed to take away a lot of what I would call inappropriate Asian stereotyping. And so I turned to Christopher Tin and Susan Soon He Stanton to write this magnificent new ending. When we commissioned Christopher Tin to write the new finale, we asked him to use the instrumentation that Puccini had used, and also in a way to echo some of Puccini's incredible melodies and themes. The tapestry that Puccini invokes in this is an incredible oral experience. The most famous piece of music in this piece is an aria that Calaf sings called Nessun Dorma. This aria was taken over for the World Cup and has become one of the most famous pieces of music thanks to soccer and Puccini. The piece is about a tapestry of humanity. The piece is about the power of love. And so I hope that our cast, our interpretation of the work gets much more to the core of what I think is the story, the power, the emotion, and the beauty of Puccini's work.